police officer seizing an ID from a well-informed individual.
If there's a reasonable suspicion.
This is articulable reasonable suspicion. You just proved
Of
it.
what crime? Of what crime? Whoa!
To an officer drawing his weapon on a man without any apparent justification.
Done absolutely nothing, no. Seriously. Put your gun down, really?
These are 4 instances where law enforcement harassing educated citizens faced consequences. On July 29, 2015, in California, a police officer surrounded Don McComas' neighborhood without any apparent reason. When the man asked the officer to provide a reason for patrolling his area, what the officer did was nothing short of astounding.
He clearly didn't like that I was pointing my camera to videotape him, but he came around the area very slow. He's on and off of his microphone right now.
Mr. McComas already sensed that the officer didn't appreciate being videotaped. How the officer reacts later will further confirm that point.
He thinks he's being funny now.
Go take your hand out of your pocket. Okay?
No, sir, I haven't done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing, no.
Hey, seriously.
Put your gun down, really?
Edward's hand.
The officer instantly pulls out his gun without a second thought, asking the man to stop stepping back.
You don't touch me.
I'm at that address, so I'm gonna be
You don't touch me.
Hey, man.
No, you don't touch me.
When I tell you to take your hand out,
I've done nothing.
okay?
Nope.
You need to relax.
You go away.
Okay? I don't go away. I stay where I am. You can go in your house if you want, or you can stay out here. But you don't keep your hand in your pocket. Okay?
My hand can be in my pocket. There's nothing in there. I've done nothing. What have I done?
I'm telling you.
Answer me. What have I done? Why'd you get out of your vehicle?
You're taking a picture of me. I'm taking a picture of you.
You take a picture and leave.
Okay? I don't have to leave.
Neither do I.
The officer openly admits that he doesn't like being recorded, and it seems like what he is doing is a form of revenge against Mr. McComas.
You know I don't have a weapon on me.
Okay? I don't know that.
You do that. I'm
Do I
completely
have my
clear.
gun out?
Wrong. You have your gun out because you're a police officer. You're trying to intimidate me, and this is going all over YouTube.
Put it on.
This is horrible. Trust me, I will.
Okay.
You guys have done enough to my family.
Okay? I don't even know who you are.
That's why you just happen to slowly approach my house, stop in front of my house,
I don't even know
and then
who
keep
you are.
going. So that was just random. That was just random?
Yep.
So you stopped.
Okay.
You didn't stop at
What's
anyone's
wrong
house.
with you, man?
You didn't stop at anybody's house but mine.
What's wrong with you?
Your station is corrupt.
Oh, okay. Are you some kind of a constitutionalist,
No, sir.
crazy guy or something like that? Is that your
Is that what you're going after? Is that where you're going?
I'm
Are you throwing
asking
claims
you.
around?
I'm asking you.
Are you throwing these around?
As Mr. McComas displays a better understanding of the law, the officer asks him if he's associated with any law enforcement or involved in politics.
Why are you doing this?
Why are you sitting here with your gun out at me? This is why I'm doing this. To protect myself from you.
Okay. All right. You just stay right in front of me. And we'll be all fine. Okay?
Am I being detained? Have I been accused? Are you accusing me of a crime? Are you suspecting me of a crime?
If I did, I would arrest you. Okay? So.
It's funny how the officer feels no threat from McComas, yet he draws his gun out, aiming at him. The officer was subsequently suspended with pay and placed on temporary leave, pending investigations. The video recorded by Don McComas went viral, amassing over 1.2 million views. Due to the immense support from the public, Don also planned to file a civil rights lawsuit against the officer. Although what happened with Don, despite being on the right side of the law, couldn't be justified. But how these guys taught the police how to behave is incredibly fulfilling.
It's not your car, it's the people's car. You don't own that.
But before that, a trooper, McLean, kicked a traffic stop on Auditor from News Now YouTube channel for making a suspicious stop somewhere in Georgia. But as Mr. Auditor was well aware of the law, things heated up pretty quickly.
Did a man getting pulled over for something?
Well, you pulled into the water driveway back there.
To turn around.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out what you were doing. We're trying to identify you.
Is that illegal?
How's my ID gonna tell you what I'm doing?
Well, we're trying to identify you.
Even though the man explained everything to the officer and provided the reason for the stop, the officer still insisted on him showing his ID.
Okay.
For what?
May I please have your driver's license?
Is that a lawful order?
Yes, sir.
What infraction do you believe
And then
I've
you pulled
committed?
over here on the road, and I checked
Yeah.
that. So
Because I was going to
we-
look at the map. I didn't want to get on my cellular device
Well, that's good.
while I was driving.
Well, that's good. I appreciate it. You got your driver's license?
I have my driver's license with me, but I'm not certain I'm required to give it. Can you state some sort of statute or
Yes, sir.
some sort of infraction?
Anytime you're requested by law enforcement to provide driver's license, you have to provide driver's license.
If you've committed some sort of infraction or
You turn
crime.
around back there.
Was
It's
that
not
illegal?
illegal.
Was that illegal?
And you pulled in, so we're trying to figure out what
Was
you're
that
doing
illegal?
down there. We were trying to figure out.
I understand that.
We're trying to figure out what you're doing there.
But you're not to figure out what I'm doing, police. You're the law enforcement, police.
And that we're trying to figure out. It's suspicious. So we're just trying to figure out what you were doing there.
Is one of these cars your supervisor?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'd like
but
to talk to your supervisor,
You're going
please.
to talk to me right now. And do you have your driver's license?
Mr. Auditor already seemed to have the upper hand on the officer, knowing that he was completely within his rights. However, the officer appears to believe he can act as he pleases while wearing the uniform.
I don't think I'm required to give you my driver's license, and I'd like to talk to your supervisor to find out.
Yes, sir. May I please get your driver's license?
I don't believe you're giving me a lawful command, sir.
Yes, I am.
For what purpose do you need my ID? What crime do you or ordinance do you suspect me to have broken?
Because it was suspicious of you to pull
Suspicious,
into
is
the
that a
driveway and back up
misdemeanor or
and
is that a
pull back
felony?
this way.
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
That's articulable reasonable suspicion that you were
Of what
doing
crime?
something. That you were loitering or something like that. Do you have
Do you have evidence that I was loitering?
Sir, you pulled in back there, did you not?
I turned around, yeah, because I saw that I couldn't get through.
You
That's
couldn't get
correct.
through. The road was open. I don't know.
Oh, I
where
saw.
you-
It looked like there was checkpoints for getting into the prison or something. So we turned around because we didn't think we could get through.
As you can see from our plate, we're not from here, so
I
yeah.
understand that. Do you have your driver's license?
I don't. I'm telling you. Am I lawfully required to give you my ID?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What? For what purposes am I lawfully required?
What I just explained to you, sir.
Suspicion isn't a crime, and I didn't break any
Articulable
ordinance.
reasonable suspicion, yes.
Of
a crime.
Of a
Articulable
crime.
reasonable suspicion that you turn around back
Can
there
I just
doing
talk to the
something.
supervisor that's back there?
No, sir.
It appeared that Officer McLean's ego was challenged, making it difficult for him to accept the fact that Mr. Auditor was on the right side of the law.
Step out of the vehicle, sir. I just need to identify you. That,
But
and that's
for what
all-
purpose?
You're making it harder. All I'm trying to do.
I'm trying to make it lawful.
All I'm trying to do.
What law do you think I broke to pull me over for?
You were down there. You pulled into the.
Yes,
I
I
didn't
did.
know what you were doing, right?
I turned around.
That's the
I told you
warden's
what I'm doing.
residence. That's the warden's residence.
I turned
State
around.
Property,
I didn't know
right?
whose it was.
It's state property. So I came
So
down
it's
here
public
to
property.
You wanna step back?
I'm trying to get
Step
identified,
back
and I
here.
don't think I
Yeah,
need to.
Step back here.
For what reason?
Step back here. Just
What
step
did
back
he
here.
explain? He explained that I turned around in someone's driveway. Yes, I did.
Okay,
I don't know
so-
whose driveway it was.
Stop and listen. You asked
Sir.
me a question. I'm telling you exactly what I'm
I
telling
don't. Is it unlawful to turn around in a driveway?
you. Let me explain to
Go
you
ahead.
so I can get where I'm going.
Go ahead.
All right. Currently, there's been events happening there at the prison, correct?
I don't know. I'm from. You can see I'm from
All right,
Florida.
so we're.
Okay. So this is what's going on.
Okay.
There's been events that's happened there at the prison last week. All right.
I didn't know
We
that.
have an incident going on right now.
I didn't know that
You
either.
pulled into the warden's driveway. Now you're leaving.
I pulled into a driveway. I didn't know whose driveway it was. Wasn't posted for trespassing.
Mr. Auditor believed that the supervisor might comprehend the entire situation, but it appeared that the supervisor had already shook hands with his junior officer McLean.
Just for the record, you're identifying me right now for what purpose?
Like I told you.
Because you're suspicious.
Turn
Because I'm
around.
suspicious.
Yes, you turn.
If there's a reasonable suspicion.
This is articulable reasonable suspicion. You just
Of
proved
what
it.
crime? Of what crime? Whoa! Whoa! Simple battery. You just battered me, sir.
Step out here, because I've given you lawful commands.
And you have my ID.
Please,
And you have my ID.
Please give your phone to your friend, and we're gonna step out here.
Okay, I'm stepping out. You don't need to manhandle me. I'm
I'm
stepping
not.
out.
How am I
You're
manhandling?
in-
Step out.
Okay, I'm stepping
I'm
out.
not. I don't want you doing anything to put the vehicle in drive because I've had that happen before.
I'll shut it off.
All right, thank you.
I didn't even think of that. I apologize.
Snatching the ID from Mr. Auditor's hand, an action that can be considered assault in and of itself. The officer also appears to be frustrated for finding himself in this situation.
We're gonna step in front of my car. We'll get out the road.
The officer finally confesses that the reason for creating the chaos was that Mr. Auditor pulled into a warden's driveway.
Hey, is this street public all the way down through the prison?
Yes, sir. You can't get off on either part of the drive there, but you can drive right through
I can walk through too, right?
on the roadway. I wouldn't advise walking on the roadway. Here's what I'm gonna tell you, okay?
On the side of the road, though, is fine.
On the side of the road, once you get off the road, it becomes prison property.
That's okay. That's state property. That's fine. There's a public easement.
After the officer created all the chaos, it eventually amounted to nothing, because while Mr. Auditor was sent back to his car, there's no information available regarding any action taken against the officer. It's also crucial to note that if Mr. Auditor didn't possess basic knowledge of the law, he might have encountered some serious trouble. How Mr. Auditor chose to educate the officer is truly satisfying, but the reaction of the two friends to the next officer is both amusing and educational at the same time. Two friends were recording random things when cops approached them and got their egos hurt. The friends appeared to be more educated than the officers, so let's see how the situation unfolded.
Does sound pretty good.
I know. We'll have to go to another location.
Yeah, we'd probably hit Battle Creek.
There we go. That's one.
Yeah, we could do that. We can go to Battle Creek. Yeah.
I like those mushroom Swiss.
Hello.
And then the spicy chicken.
Are we not being verbal?
Yeah, that mushroom Swiss does sound
We're
pretty
just
good.
trying to have a conversation. We're not trying to yell at you guys.
I do like the Crunch Wrap Supreme.
Okay.
I like the cheesy bean and rice from Peter.
What's going on today?
I like the Burrito Supreme. It's
They're charging $5 for that.
Are they really?
Thing now.
Really?
Sir?
It must be the extra sour cream.
Either
that's
way,
in there.
can we just have a
Yeah, they
civil
must be putting extra sour cream in
conversation
there.
about this?
Right.
Yeah.
I always add extra sour cream, so that puts it over $5.
At first, they chose not to talk to the officers, as they knew they've done nothing wrong. But as she persisted, they did this.
Right. I was worried about that at first, but it didn't travel this far. I was worried that the music was going to travel over here, but it didn't. She's so mad.
As the officers went to a hotel to discuss something, these two decided to inspect the interior of a police car. However, that decision seemingly triggered the officers.
Sure is. See if they left that cat open.
It's not your car. It's the people's car. You don't own that.
I'm not taking my car.
I guess you're going to license that being rotten ass.
Yeah, you don't own the car. We can be near the
If you
car.
asked me to move, maybe I would have moved.
I've been
But
trying
telling
to
me
talk
to
to
get
you.
away from the car?
As she screams at the man to get away from my car. She is educated that it's not her car, but a vehicle meant to assist local citizens.
We can, we can absolutely record inside the car. You don't just demand people get away from your car. It's not your car. It's actually the people of Kalamazoo's.
An officer safety concern for me.
No, that officer's safety, my ass.
Not opening my door.
What
while
law
you
is
were
officer
standing
safety?
Yeah, what law is officer
Why are you in
safety?
the passenger seat now?
What law is officer safety?
It appears that she may not be well versed in the laws, as she attempts to evade their questions.
No, you are being ridiculous. Coming out here telling me orders when I don't have to follow your orders. I didn't break no law. No, I don't. That's where you're wrong, honey.
At this point, I'm asking.
Is that a lawful order? Is that a lawful order to step away from your vehicle? Is that a lawful order?
Yes, it
Do
is.
you have the lawful authority to make that order?
At this point, I don't know what you were doing.
Okay.
I do not trust your.
Pretty
actions.
obvious.
I do not trust.
It's pretty
your
obvious.
actions.
Well, that's your problem, not mine. I don't trust your actions. You guys shoot people.
I have never. Shot
You guys shoot people.
I've never shot anybody.
Okay, well, cops shoot people. You're a cop.
And other 14592.
The man informed the officer that if she had approached them kindly, as every other law enforcement officer should, they would have willingly stepped back. However, they were dissatisfied with her behavior.
Yeah, you shouldn't just bark orders at people
Well,
in public.
at this point,
You should be nice. Like, could
I
you
was trying
could
to
you
be
step
nice.
could you step aside so I could get in my vehicle, sir? That should be how you would treat the public, not get away from my vehicle. But I didn't want to talk to you over there. I didn't want to talk to you over there, and I'm not required to, right? I didn't want to talk to you over there, and I'm not required
trying
to.
to be polite.
I know you was, but I'm still not required to talk to you. I didn't call you. They called
You
you.
weren't being polite. You were interrupting our conversation.
Yeah, you should have went over there and talked to them first before coming up to us, because they called you, not us. There is no my side. There is no my side. I'm on a public sidewalk doing what I'm lawfully allowed to do. That's that.
What we told them.
Okay,
We were
cool.
actually defending what
Cool.
you were doing.
Cool.
At this point, point, though, I cannot defend this.
Oh, I don't need you to defend anything. The Constitution defends what I'm doing.
After receiving some education, she attempts to garner sympathy to try to leave them, but they aren't buying it.
And walking out and being rude and barking orders at civilians.
Did either one of us break the
Constitution's not going to back you up on that.
At this point, like I said, officer safety, I just...
Officer safety.
While I was getting into it.
If you're so scared, you shouldn't have became a cop. Should have went into the private sector if you're so scared. Not everybody is a threat out here. But you guys look at everybody like they're a threat.
But as the situation was heating up, a supervisor reached the scene.
Man, you look like you're geared up for war, man. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Man. That's a supervisor. What's your name and badge number, supervisor?
It's Officer Reeser 12407.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
We just met two of your guys' officers downtown. They were phenomenal. Yeah, they were great, man. They were awesome.
Yeah.
She was awesome too until she started barking orders and telling people to get away from the car.
She's one of my favorite officers.
Is she?
Yeah.
One of your favorites?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you be safe down
All right, man. You too, brother.
I'm glad you had a good time downtown there.
Oh, man, we have a great time every time we come to Kalamazoo, man. It's so wonderful here.
How long you been canine?
Almost 4 years.
Yeah?
Same dog you've had the whole time? Or?
Yeah, best gig on the department.
Is it?
Right on.
Well, just with the dog.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Get to use him a lot?
We do a lot of tracking.
A lot of tracking with him? That's awesome. Heck yeah. Let's say that, and you know, when I was a kid, they didn't have dogs, so they couldn't track us.
It was a different world then.
Man, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
The female officer wouldn't leave as her ego was now hurt, but the supervisor handled the situation and got a hold of it. While witnessing the enlightening exchange between civilian individuals and these officers is indeed gratifying, Officer Widman's response to a man with superior understanding of the law is truly a sublime experience. A man was recording an accident that he'd witnessed when Officer Widman stepped out of his car, approached him, and falsely accused him of something he didn't commit.
212, what's your name and badge number?
So, sir, you're not part of the accident, but yet you're shining that light to distract officers? Is that what's happening? Because that's what it appears like what you're doing to me. So for me, as an officer safety issue, I have every right to look at you, because my eyes are supposed to be focused on the injured individuals that are over there.
I wasn't shining any light at you
So it appeared that you did, sir.
until you started shining it in my face.
It's absurd how the officer concocts a bogus story to support his claims and falsely blames the man for something he clearly didn't do.
Actually, sir, it appeared that you did. So I have every right to make sure that for officer safety that you're not looking to harm myself, any of the other officers, or any of the injured individuals that are across the street. Because my focus is on the injured individuals that are across the street.
Go back to your car, please.
So I can't do that until I know what your purpose is here.
I'm filming. What do I look like? I'm filming, sir.
So, as I said, it's an officer safety issue.
What's your name
that I
and
have
badge
to.
number?
Sir, under the circumstances, I'm just going to stand here and just make sure that my other officers are safe, okay?
What's your name and badge number, please?
So,
okay.
And until that accident is cleared up and I make sure that the officers are safe and that none of these other individuals, maybe like yourself, that has intent to harm them,
I don't have any intent.
Then I'm just going to make sure that doesn't happen, sir.
He then assumes that the bystanders, including the man recording, have intentions to harm the people who were involved in the accident.
What's your name and badge number?
So,
you smell like you've been drinking tonight.
Actually, I haven't been, but is that something that you typically show up to an accident scene to try to observe and say that an officer has been drinking when we have injured individuals, and you actually show up to accuse an officer of drinking? Is that typically... What's your name, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay.
Although he begins by stating that he hasn't been drinking, he then connects it to the accident, which is, once again, ridiculous.
Most citizens would be concerned about the individuals that have been injured in the accident.
I am concerned.
Obviously you're not, sir.
I am.
Your focus is on me, which it should be, if anything, on the injured individuals that are across the street. My focus is on officer safety and the individuals that are injured. So
if you all want to call unified police, I think you got his badge. And he's refusing to identify. I think he's high on drugs or drunk.
He eventually leaves, having been educated by the man he falsely accused of having intentions to harm the injured people in the accident. It's not known if any action was taken against the officer, but he clearly learned a valuable lesson.